realize I've been on mute this entire time. Yeah. So context, React context. I'm also not sharing my screen.
This is going well.
Yeah, this is the last one. We're probably not going to do remote.
Yeah. I think doing remote has hindered
Some of the well, nobody's here, so.
you.
They might want to learn.
But at that point, you have to watch YouTube.
Yeah.
Then just-
Plenty of things on YouTube for learning how to code. So context basically short circuit the props so that you don't have to pass. Like if you had 500 component tree, like you've got component, child. You don't want to like have to pass props down to everything there. So in this case, with context, you can create what like an object that flows between React components without any issues. Hey there, Sherika. All right. So in React, they came up with this idea called a context. And to use a context, and they're still using the component syntax or the class syntax. So I'm going to have to find an example that doesn't include the class syntax. There we go. All right, so sorry to hear you're having power issues, Sherika. If you want to chime in, just chime in. But we're just kind of going over the context today and finishing up the Wordle game that we've been working on. So to create a context, it's basically another function. And this is pretty new to me as well, so bear with me. But the point is that you get a context by passing the context. So you'll basically create a context object that'll have all your information. I think a context is similar to a component. You can pass in properties. So we can grab stuff from local storage, pass it into our context, and then all of the components can be aware of what's going on in the game. So this is not the best example, I don't think. You're generally going to use this create context. It's sort of like a use effect, use state kind of thing. And then once you've created the context, you have a context provider, and then you bind a value to it, and then wrap all your components in that. So we'll have a top level app component, right? And then we can wrap the app component with the context component, and that'll flow all the state down. Right, so once we have the context created and we're wrapping our components in it, we can, inside the components, do a use context. All right, so we have a value, we have a value. So we're going to implement that today. So I've got this function that defines my app component. At the top is just this div with the class name app. We're going to wrap that in a context. So we'll create a context and we'll call it our Wordle context. Create context, and we'll pass in an empty object. This is where I'm not sure if I need to create a new wrapper object. What do you think,
I
Dustin?
think that you're supposed to create, that the context looks similar to what you would use for like Redux, where you have a component that wraps around to provide the context. Again, I've not used.
Again,
Redux,
so what I'm saying is if I do like this, Wordle context.
Yes, that's what I think you have to do, but I'm not sure of the syntax.
That's you.
Oh, thank you.
You tried a character.
I did.
Is that highly technical programming?
Okay. I just remembered, sorry if it's so context. I just remembered the dream I had in it. I was on a boat.
No.
Because of it.
Oh, yeah, I was like.
So,
Val. I have managed to break our application. Render is not a function. Context.consumer. So you don't have to use the use context. You can just go Wordle context dot consumer. There. Yes. That tells the React functional components that, hey, you need to consume
You need
this.
to do dot provider for the top level.
Mm.
Yes, you're right, yeah.
And then an immediate like,
It just hits the children.
yeah.
And this is dot provider.
The consumer should get things that are lower than it, right?
I have no idea. Yeah, the gist of it is that we want to use a global store, but I think we may have to create a separate component and wrap it.
so what's the benefit of doing a global store? Like, you've got it mostly working without it.
The benefit of doing a global store is you don't have to pass properties. That's all.
And that's how people will most likely be doing things.
In a larger application, this is not quite that large. It would be a lot easier to handle stats and stuff. So like, let me go back to the application. And if I go back, I mean, I'm going to take this out. So say, for example, we wanted to know all the stats for all the days. Have you figured out how you're going to do that? Because what I'm thinking of is we have a JavaScript object with the date that somebody completed a Wordle game as the key. And then we can loop over those keys and find their stats. And we can also create a new day for them.
Mm-hmm.
So let me spitball a little bit and show you what I'm thinking of. New file. So you have a JSON object, right? Today is 2022, August is 27th, 8/27. Okay, so that's one object. right? Why are you complaining? This is JSON, not JavaScript. And then you have the guesses array in here, the guess info array, and then you have the word of the day. And you have game is on, which is true or false. Means once they're done, they can't add anymore, right? And then we can also store the words array outside of here so that we don't have to go and fetch every time if we don't want to. And we can also just persist that to local storage and just kind of add things on as we're going through. But by having it in the local storage to begin with, we're just constantly like updating it and nobody loses that data. So generally speaking, I'm thinking the context object is going to be useful because we're going to use local storage to save data. Again, I'm not prescribing it. If you want to go ahead and move forward without it, I'm okay with that. But it is you might, if and when you get your React developer job, right? You might see it and you might need to know how to work with it.
Who doesn't, in a big application, it'll be structured this way. And you probably will have something like Redux or which does this on a much larger scale. Does the page, it doesn't use context. It has a bigger, more complicated thing that's similar.
It just looks like it would be easier to do it if we started with it.
That's true. If you started with it in mind, it is easier.
And
So
so,
maybe like overkill for this application might be a thing you want to do. You might want to finish your functionality and then try to redo it with using this, like to refactor. Because a lot of times people refactor after you're done. Like if you want to use it, because I'm looking through this and this actually has a lot of like setup steps that are going to like change how we have the application. Just like to try to like learn the film application.
Yeah, so at this point, I think,
yeah, David, I just watched and then Jonathan posts the code base afterward.
yeah, that might be better. Okay, so hang on, user context. Okay, so what I actually want to do is what context.
Just watch the guy.
Okay, it looks like we have a context set up now. So what this Wordle context provider is a component that takes our Wordle context and becomes a provider and passes the value down to all the children. And the children is passed in as a property. And there's something in web components called a slot. And it's basically like, if there's anything inside of the component tag, that maps to the children property inside React. So it's going to render each child. So normally you would pass it as a property like children equals blah, but it also implicitly maps anything inside the tags to that children property. And that's why this Wordle context provider works. Okay. And then inside the component, we can also use the context. So basically, we're going to take the guesses. We're basically going to take all the values that we just set up and move them into the context. So let me say.
Did it have it, you state you have that? Your provider?
They'll use the use state properties.
So what you're doing is you create a context, you make your state, and then you pass the value that's
Okay, so I need to use the context over top of that.
Yeah, you need to use state still, but you're passing it down to. So have you?
I haven't created a game state.
Or,
Yeah.
Have you created context?
Yeah.
I see you have used, oh, okay. I see. But you don't need to use it yet, you need to pass it to your provider.
So let me go ahead and grab all of my use state calls to here. Okay. So I've got const A equals state dot get state.
You gotta make it a structure.
I do? Oh, that's right.
I mean, you don't have to, but it's gonna make it difficult to get it out. But you don't need a set today?
Nope.
We're just, oh, so always return that?
Yes. So we have our words array, we have our word of the day, we have our guesses. Is that all we need? That's all we need, right?
I think so. We can always add things to it.
Yeah.
More.
Got it.
But, and then pass to your provider the, whatever the use state value is.
Okay. So now I need to create a use state that has all of this and call it game state.
What was that about? You just created? Guesses?
No, I need all of this in an
Oh,
object.
okay, sorry, all of it.
So this becomes guesses. Wait, I don't need. I can't do this, right?
No, because you need to set
Okay.
guesses in there as well.
So I just
You have
need
to make
all of
one
this,
giant
yeah.
object.
Yep.
That's why I was confused.
That's what I need. Okay. So today in game state and then guesses becomes this guy. And then this can go away. And I'll keep words array out of it. Word of the day.
So what's happening basically is you have a bunch of different use states right now. Where you use context, you make everything into just one giant state. And you update parts of it. But then you have access to it everywhere in the whole application without having to like pass things around.
Oh, getting
You
UTC
pass it to
day.
the provider.
It's showing everything. Fine. In there, like, terminal or whatever.
Yes, it is. I've got to get, so what we have to do is guesses, set guesses. This needs to be, we're going to have a update game state function. That we're going to have to call. So reading the room, what needs to be done in your application? Obviously not this at the moment. Everything. Okay.
No, I just don't have
Very
like getting
close.
stats. And then like, I remember, I don't have a way to keep you from continuing to guess, and I don't know how to delete it. Like I looked it up and I was like, and I'll do it later. They're getting me to like choose a word like on the new like on midnight.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh.
And then I guess I have to set the keyboard, but if the keyboard is more of like the on-screen keyboard, I don't know, if it's like a must-have before it's like that.
I did it because that's kind of where people play Wordle is on the
No,
phone.
no, what she means is she doesn't know how to make the guesses show up in the different colors on the keyboard. Because on Wordle, when you guess things, it grays out the ones that aren't in the word.
Yeah, I haven't done
Yeah,
that
like-
yet either.
Like your keyboard works, right?
No, my keyboard, I told you that, I have zero functionality, it's split screens. Like, I'm sure that I get it to do the thing, but like, I haven't.
Yeah. This is what I'm saying, don't think that would be that hard. You already have a high level function that changes colors, you just have to provide it to the keyboard as well.
I would have to like spend some time remembering. It's like, I don't remember how to get it, like, letter, yes.
Good, now you're gonna do that every.
I just.
How does this work again?
Stupid, it's just part of the program. Especially on the last three sprints, I haven't had any work that has been finished, I haven't completed. Regardless, what I'm saying is now I can't, whenever they ask me to go back to it, I have to relearn it because it's all incomplete stuff that doesn't work and never worked. And it doesn't matter why you stop, just that you did have to until you have to relearn.
I'm trying to have a piece of today, you're remembering. So first, yeah, I think that's something for it.
Where are you going?
Question mark 0 plus date dot get UTC month else date dot get UTC month. That's looking better, sort of. So this is our key, right? So having it turn over on midnight is easy because the UTC date will return the client's date, right? So if their browser is set to their time zone, it'll turn over on midnight. But now they can also cheat and like go forward in time by setting their system time zone to something different. But I mean,
Then you've got just people who like fast forward in Animal Crossing, so.
the monsters that they are, yes. I used to do that.
Me too, and I was like, it's just, I don't care that much about stocks. We did it pretty great.
Did you get all the NES games in the original one? Did you get all the NES games in the original one?
No, I wanted like the new one all over. I didn't play any of like the games that people really like when I was a kid. So maybe like I think some boys like to play that one.
So I think we should look at the lot of people like.
I'm just not hear people talk about it.
At the time, it didn't really hold up as much as I wanted to get up in, but it was the.
Yeah, there we go. All right. So this is our date string key because I tried to. I thought get date would be enough, but. I'm going to be right back. Use the restroom.
BRB. So I would not change this right now.
Not the date part.
Oh yeah, if you want to have a date, yes. But I don't think the whole thing's on the screen. It's a really insane, like,
Oh, it's.
you have to use that fix.
Still it's all.
Sorry, I was just looking to see how long it was, to see if I could move it to new lines. I'm gonna do something real quick. Sorry, to make it more readable.
It's not.
What is not fine?
I did. But it's.
Only lowercase d, not lowercase d.
I mean, like, but you don't have, like,
Yeah, I know. I'm wondering where lowercase date is coming from. John,
Lowercase state
here. Where is that coming from?
today.
Yeah. I was like, I don't see that anywhere.
I'm just using this to get the key. I don't need the state, do I?
You're never gonna change it?
No, yeah.
No, you're just a constant equal to that. Okay.
Yep.
So you can get rid of your stage as well. You just made it into a regular. Moved it. I didn't know if he was gonna update the date. But that date will never update though, right? Oh no, I guess because of how React works, it will.
It's broken.
I should look at things. Is it, yeah, it's a lowercase. Yeah, and I don't know what part is supposed to be capitalized, because that's just like the thing you have to know or look up. So you have to look up what the syntax, I don't know, John, I'm getting the homework errors too, so I'm not sure. Can you go back up to your date, where you're getting date, because there's getting errors for like UTC.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, UTC full year, I don't think you have that in front of it. You can see it there, that very first line, line 16. Line 16.
One more thing.
Yeah, that unfortunately is just stuff you just have to type correctly because it's just the API and it doesn't help you.
Okay, I have a question.
Um,
Every aspect.
Yes.
I have things that repeat like 2 times,
oh,
like every time,
like that.
like, yeah. So I just put like console.log like right after that, just like generally in it, so it's not like in there 4 times. Yeah,
not a
that's
real
the
word.
It's in the list. It's pulling just from that list that we picked. I'll even look it up. I bet farts is over here.
I bet you it is too.
It's a terrible word. It's religious obligation or duty.
That's a fart.
Well, didn't say fart.
Ah, yes, my farts. I must perform my farts to my parents. Feeling very farty today.
So I've done 20 Hail Marys.
Okay, what are you doing?
Oh, why is it repeating?
Because you're doing use effect and I'm not sure. So you're doing use effect, right?
I guess.
And so I think it's doing it before and after updating. So
Yep. I couldn't figure out anything that's.
This was
yeah.
that different. Usually the same.
yeah, it's still running twice.
I mean, it really isn't that important. I was just curious.
Well, one thing you can do is when it runs the first time,
Mhm.
or when it runs at all, you can just check to see if the local storage or the state has been updated.
Mhm.
And if it has been, just go ahead and skip fetch.
It'd be like, I wonder if we're also like, if you can see the thing or.
Comes across in an API, probably.
Yeah, right. Good job.
I didn't know what else there and much.
I'm sure.
Curious is an over.
Fires.
Yeah.
Fires.
Wanky is over.
I'm really trying to use them for now.
Yeah, so maybe the second place is right.
Pretentious, contemptible, or stupid. Wanky.
It is really hard to figure out what
We're
this
learning
is
great
spelled.
words and you left. We're learning great things for the words. Like fart, wanky.
Oy.
You know what a fart is?
No, I know what
It is.
a bar is. Bar.
A fart is a religious duty or practice.
Oh.
So if you're feeling particularly farty, then you may want
Stop.
to get all.
We can't keep saying this.
I can't keep saying it. It's a great word.
You should have heard him all the way here. When you find something that people laugh at, he won't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Gary.
I didn't mean
No.
very bad. I guess I do have a thing, like, if he gets a 6, it'll stop me, but if you got, like, if you want it early, it's just like, yeah, you can still keep it.
Yeah, if you want to keep playing after you won, that's fine.
The word didn't change.
It's like, so you can win again. Double win, triple win.
It'll tell you, it'll be like, you won again, on the second try. Wow.
You should do that. You should change it so that it'll be double win. Triple win.
Monster win.
Spectacular.
Seriously, spell? Here's my 11 for my Wednesday.
You've won 11 times now. Does it still, so that's still happening?
Even if you have the problem guesses, 6 guesses, and you can win each time.
Yeah, you can win every single time. Cause I just like have it predict to the console log, like what's the word, so sometimes if I'm like, oh, I just wanna see like how like it's behaving, I'm just like,
That's so funny.
So yeah, you're still for some reason adding a number to a string and I don't know how.
Win rate, because I thought I erased it.
Oh.
Yeah, what would your win rate be? I don't know, I guess it's still here. Is it like 1100%? What it's
Yeah.
so many times in one day?
Just keep doing it.
if I had local storage, I would know, but it's not working.
So what React allows us to do at this point is really cool because they have you use setter functions. So now I just create setter functions that update the game state, and then I don't have to worry about changing my code too much.
So you can have it calculated. Wait, that's a function? Oh, okay, I see what you're doing.
Yes. Yep, so you just take your old game state and you do ... game state. And you
The thing you want to update.
word array. Yep. Oh dear. Did not like that at all. And that's because I have an extra
Oh,
parentheses.
okay, that's a nice way of doing it. That's a much better way than I learned to do. Where you manually have to put the dot in every time, and if you forgot, you'd mess it up.
That's fine. We will have to go down and change the word of the day instances. So anytime we find word of the day that's not on the context, we'll have to go to, I'll make this Wordle context, that word of the day. Pretty sure that's not right either because I set that stuff to the today key. Let's do Wordle context, and let's match case, and we'll do today key.
That's working. I can't have both of those things. I have to make two things.
What do you mean?
Like, because I had it with the other thing in it and it wasn't doing it right. But like when I changed it, it was like, but it still doesn't store it when I like refresh the browser. But like the bin rate is still changing.
So what we can do is we can use an effect that looks for game state to update. And when game state updates, we just save it to the local storage. And then we can also load that context in back when we get to the page. So that's what we'll work on next.
It's the storing stuff that I work on. The variable type is fixed. That's it. I can't get the other stuff, but it's just the rate. Yes. But if it's just going up and it's actually not doing anything now.
It might be if you didn't clear your browser history,
Oh, okay.
because it might, because I don't know how local storage works in browser, but I don't work in browser, but I'm assuming that it should save and you get rid of your browser history.
Yeah, there, let me show you where you can find what's in your local storage. There's a, so let me do function F12. If you go to application, you can look in your local storage and you can see, okay, here's a win rate, here's some data. You can also clear your data.
This is in the browser.
Oh, it's interesting.
Yeah, Safari, you should still be able to hit F12.
Yeah, so yeah, it's just here because you've already sorted it.
Yep, so it will remember it, but you do have to keep it updated and whatnot, so.
You can look at that actual storage usually.
I guess you do have to stringify it too, don't you?
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just object, object.
When you refresh it, is it updating it every time? When is it setting it, when you call it stringify?
Just like in general, I guess. Like I don't have it on part, like I'm not. Like, it's just in the middle of everything.
Then that means.
Like it's supposed to use the,
Yeah, it's in general, everything.
But I mean, like, we use it back, just.
It is in the function. Yeah, so the win rate is up like it's calling storage. I don't know why it's doing it. Hers is every time she resets win rate is being set back to 0. It's not maintaining the local storage update. And she has it under the use of like the stringifying and the say this and the use effect being called when win rate is updated. Oh, you know what? Jonathan, when a use state is defined, will a use effect run immediately as it's defined to set back to 0?
Maybe.
So that might.
Yes, if you're setting a default value in your use state, that's going to set it back.
How do I do like not? Like, when I
So this is where you're going to have to load in your win rate from your local storage first.
If it exists in local storage, you'll have to set it in your use state that way.
So I would use this like free count buffers thing. Or would I call it in history?
Well, you have it, this win history only exists inside of this use effects, unless you use the JSON. That would be, yes, that's correct, but not there. Like you want to move it and put it in front, and then do oh, you have to put this forward, so you're right, go back. It will work. Get rid of the extra, put it on the other side. All right, I keep thinking.
It still looks set.
Yeah, you finished. Then you'll need to put. You need to repeat it.
I don't think you can do that with the first one.
So you're right here. And then you want to repeat that exact same thing. and then the colon and a row, or whatever you want to call it.
Don't work.
Check your storage.
There you go. Yep.
Yes, thank you.
Have a regression.
Oh.
Oh, hang on. React hook use effect. Okay. That.
Yeah, we're just like, that will say, like, I never copy your coffee. Yes. I always feel so embarrassed when I go into the gym and I'm like, I did bring coffee and water.
Yeah, a lot of people bring coffee to the gym. It's the same thing as the pre-workout stuff.
My coffee has a lot of sugar.
So does the pre-workout. I think-
Oh, okay, I'm
That's
like,
fine.
it's just straight like caffeine powder.
No, like a lot of people who are trying to be healthier have pure black coffee as their pre-workout because pre-workout powders have like 1 billion grams of sugar in them. But yours is, this is no unhealthier than normal pre-workout that a lot of people take.
You also have a lot of sugar, is what he's saying.
Yeah.
Oh, and I saw my uncle really talking at my grandma's house, and he was like, "Oh, you're into fitness? Like, guess what? Like my pre-workout is." And I was like, "I don't know, it's 400 like milligrams of caffeine." And I was like, "That's your daily value." But you were just talking about how you drink your coffee black, and he was like, "Your face, man, you look trapped." And I'm like,
They do like if for when you take black coffee for pre-workout, they do recommend you take 4 cups.
Yeah.
Which would be the same amount, right? Isn't that what you told me? That's the same amount?
I don't think that coffee is 100.
Okay.
I know like a shot of espresso is 80 something is.
Yeah, I just remember telling you that it was supposed to be 4 cups of coffee, and you were like, "That's the same thing." I was like, "I don't know, that's what they say."
It's like 4 shots.
The pre-workout though, they put nitrous oxide in it, which is even worse because that dilates and thins your blood. That's also it pumps blood, makes you start moving blood faster, and then the caffeine, like, the one time I took it, I felt like I was like having a panic attack. I was like, "Oh no, I'm never gonna go to workout right now."
Exactly what it's supposed to do. What it's designed to do.
Okay, so it got the words. Why is it not setting the events?
That's online. See where it comes, no, fix it, no. Very good.
That's mixing vodka and that upward and downer.
That's what when they came out with, they got in trouble. I don't think I think they caught it fast enough. But I went into a gas station once and I saw kids trying to buy Budweiser energy drink.
Mm.
And I don't think they were of the age they were trying to get away with something. It was just in the energy drink, but they did put it with alcohol. They put it with the regular energy drinks. And I actually thought it was just an energy drink as well.
I didn't know that.
They did for like a month, and then they got in so much trouble because the gas station didn't even just let them buy it. They didn't come up with a. It only has like 12% alcohol, and there's 12% alcohol with 300 grams of.
4% is a lot.
It's
12% is a lot.
You might be misremembering the percentage.
I was gonna say, that's like,
4% is like a regular regular
beer,
lager.
but it's not like a hard liquor.
No, it's not a hard
liquor.
liquor.
It's not a hard.
It's not 35%.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
in my head, I'm just thinking the only things I really drink are like Trulies, and those are
Right.
5%.
Yeah.
And those,
So,
I don't have
these were-
Trulies in my.
No, these were 12%, because I checked back to see if there was alcohol in it actually, or if it was, because I was like, no, like, it's just processed, like, I wonder if they just maybe didn't drink, and I checked back, I'm like, no. And I told the attendant was like, what, no, we would put it in the alcohol section if, and then she looked at it, and no. oh no, what have I done? Because they were like,
Oh, right.
they were like real little, they were not like, they were like preteen kids.
Oh, my God. I think they should be allowed to buy their drinks either, like,
Yeah.
they're really bad.
When we had dinner at my family's, Jonathan, and there was drinks that me, Nicole, and Raven had, the Cutwaters.
Mhm.
Those are 12.5%. And that, all four of us were like, this is too much for one sitting.
Yeah.
So then, yeah, that was way more than I thought, because I only, growing up, like, people in my family who drank, which was not my immediate family, they would have more hard liquor, so it's
Yeah.
the things being very high alcohol percentages
Yeah,
that they
like
had.
fruits or something like that.
So I was like, well, isn't that much, but
It
with
is for-
caffeine, with that much caffeine, it's a whole monster.
And just for like.
Yeah.
And
So I actually don't think it was beer, it was just, like, they just.
well, gas stations don't have liquor license, so they can't sell anything but beer and wine. So it's technically probably a beer.
Oh, okay. Well, also they got in trouble. Budweiser just got in trouble because this
Right.
thing was not put out properly.
Yeah. It probably just wasn't labeled right or something like that. But that's why, for example, wine, beer.
Oh, okay. I always wondered why I was like,
Yeah.
You can still find them.
but that's not the same one.
It's not the same one.
No, that's not the same. It's not what it looks like. They did full rebranding. They had a whole like. This one didn't even like, if I didn't like read it, like I wouldn't have known it was, if I didn't really read it, I wouldn't have known it was Budweiser. I just thought it was a new energy drink. And I was like, oh, I love to try new things. And I was like, it's like 8 o'clock in the morning. I don't know if I want to try this.
That's nuts.
Oh, wait.
It's like when I almost got like the hard sparkling water and I was like, wait, why? Why did you make hard sparkling?
I can stand the taste of alcohol, so it has to be like,
Very fruity.
it has to be like, yeah, and I really only like.
Yeah, I don't drink beer or wine
So,
of
like,
any sort, so
Same.
it's really gross to me. People are like, we get used to it. I'm like, but I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I have almost too much joy in the taste of tequila. But other than that, I don't like the taste of liquor. So like,
Yeah.
other than margarita. But it too much. There you go. But that doesn't taste like liquor either.
Yeah.
Yeah, chocolate.
Yeah,
I got in some trouble.
yeah. No, I'm with you. I get that.
I'm very much a social drinker. There's only like 2 couples that I will drink with, and it's like. And then our friends in like North Carolina, and so are actually, I was glad when my Nicole got pregnant. I was like, no more alcohol.
Yeah. My husband drinks pink which is, get like pink lemonade, like lemon vodka.
That sounds good.
It actually is really good, and it's unfortunate how good it is. But he got some last night, so we had some this time, but that's not, I can do the problem very easily, because it's like, especially when you like mix it with juice or
Yeah.
something like that. it just-
That's my problem, is I only like hard liquor. And the way that I like to have it, I just drink a bunch of it without realizing, hey, this is alcohol, so I'm like, I just shouldn't do this, like.
Definitely.
A friend that introduced me to one that was like passion fruit flavored vodka at
Oh
Costco.
my goodness.
I've never seen it, but I'm like, don't go looking for it. It was-
I think Costco has a liquor license either.
I don't know, I get it.
Yeah, Costco, like Costco, some of them, because they have a completely different entrance, you have to go in and everything, but like
Oh, true, no, you're totally right. Okay.
Costco
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Sam's
yeah.
and BJ's, I think all have.
Yep.
But
Yeah,
it
yeah,
takes, not all of them,
Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, I don't think I ever did.
In Florida, like, Mason said that,
Basically, they
public.
have a separate building, we're set up public.
and their public's got those.
Oh, Publix liquor store?
Yeah, and it's like in the parking lot, but it has to be completely separate from the regular.
That makes
Yeah,
sense.
but Florida is where public started, so like, if anytime they try something new, it goes to Florida first.
That's fair.
Um,
My husband works for Publix, so. I know a lot about that.
And everywhere but Florida, if you do, because our friend Mason complains a lot, it's everywhere but Florida, for Publix is weird, 'cause, again, where it started. If you buy one, get one, if you only buy one thing, you get it half, but not in Florida.
Yeah, so people come from like out
Other
of town.
towns, they, like, they get really mad, and he's like, look, that's just not how it works here. Sorry, no, it works in everyone this way, it's like, not in Florida.
Things are really management.
Yeah.
He's like, I hate all the other Publix, you can make my life so hard.
I was like, I don't even somewhere better than Florida.
Oh, no, you went there.
I did. He almost moved up here, but then like, we told him how much housing costs. He was
Wow.
like, never mind.
He wanted to move in with us for a long extended period of time.
Oh.
And I was like, this is how long you can wait.
He was like, I'm very.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then he was like, how much does the house still there? And I was like, well, our really, really crappy roof infested apartment that we had used to be. He was like, basically.
He has a pretty skewed view of how much things should cost, though, because he's getting a fantastic deal, like a better than.
Well, he moves out this weekend.
Yeah, I know. So he might be getting a less good deal now, but like where he was, like my opinion is he should have just made that work
Yeah.
because I think he was being petty, but it
You know, I think that it's good for him.
is that is the flip side of it. It's good for him to learn how to be on his own.
Oh, it's really nice. Oh, recordings.
No,
That's why I didn't see that.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. So these are the real conversations of Softguild.
And Sherika's online too, so Sherika, if you have any opinions, you can chime in.
You're uncomfortable? Is that what you're about to say?
No, I'm perfectly comfortable.
Make him not rap.
You know, he already needs edited. I have a video after.
Nah, that's the thing is I hate editing so much. I
I
don't want to edit.
prefer the time of it, so you can't always just send me a video and be like, there's 20 minutes of
You guys are talking about.
Yeah. and we didn't make any progress.
And you didn't talk, so you
Yeah.
just cut the audio out and then have a silent video of.
But I don't. Okay.
Yeah, this is my first day of teaching. This is what it was for the first like 20 minutes of.
Yeah.
I was like, why won't it work?
I didn't ask for this.
You tell it.
So you guys want to see what the Gildle app looks like at 4K resolution?
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Oh, because the Mac. Yeah, but the Mac is like, no, we need to use the resolution of the thing. You don't want it to lose resolution.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what happened to me.
Can you even read that?
He can see it on his computer, but although it's making it very small on his computer,
That's what I mean.
That's so sad.
Oh, sweet.
Now we're back.
although the TV, if it's anything like it happened to me, the TV is going to try and correct you in a minute and be like, whoa, you're losing resolution. Are you sure?
So I'm trying to shake the row so that when somebody tries to enter something. Also, I have a regression. I can't type anymore. I don't know why.
Sad. Did you lose focus?
Maybe. Let me do this. Let me do this. Get element by ID. Yes. Input. Focus. And when I come back here, hey, wait.
Not one letter and then it lost focus again. What happened? I think something must be grabbing focus for me.
I am.
Oh. Just put a
Caroline.
Caroline dot blur.
Or with her mouth like,
That would show this focus.
I don't want to make like a little sticker, you could put it on your like computer and be like Caroline dot.
That's literally, I have so many. I love that.
I mean, if you're on your something, you should put Caroline dot focus for you.
Do a video sheet, that would be really helpful.
I have an on blur like. Focus, focus.
Every now and then, I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna have like an episode where like comes to your ADHD, I'm gonna be like, going up.
So is something else running after that and taking focus away? Yeah, it very, very much looks like that.
I watched this all day. Good job. Keep moving. You're standing.
Wait, wow, arm gestures.
No,
To get your workout
I
in.
think my heart rate just went up when you started like humming.
Wow,
Jonathan things stopped working. I was like,
it's the Kermit the Frog workout.
yeah.
That's good. I like watching Kermit. Yes, input. Why? What is going on?
Couldn't tell you.
I thought you were running this, Caroline.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
You're the one doing it.
I'm clear. I'm enough focus. I don't know what these things mean, but I like them, whatever they are.
I like that scene from Zoolander where they're hitting the computer with the bones. Like,
Or that cat lady that's like typing on his.
yeah, the Giphy, the like.
Yeah, exactly. That's all I got. That's all I got.
Is your like
I don't know.
input like hitting the right thing still?
So what we can do is,
Try to drop them.
I haven't taught you guys this, but there's a feature in Git where you can like put your changes to the side. And so it's called stash. So we just do git stash dash dash save, and it'll say like, sorry, not dash dash save, just save.
Like it's like that.
So a change we introduced has broken this. That's why we're failing. So I mean, you can do git stash pop to put everything back where it was. Made it look good on a phone.
That's really cute.
Well, good. Good. It's not.
That's your phone.
They got all smooshed. Yeah.
They lost weight.
Yes.
But
Also, I'm offended by the placement of the enter and backspace keys, and I refuse to put them in that spot.
Or at least one
One
of us.
person.
I didn't know that. What irks you so much?
Because it's not the same as on a real keyboard. So
Or even on a phone
press
keyboard.
button.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, that is not prescriptive. I was literally just, in fact, what I did was I went to
Yeah.
here and I just went like, okay, what did okay, they're using display grid gaps, 5 pixels. I didn't do that, but I did do the flex container, flex column stuff. So that's that.
Even with the entering the stuff, just
Yeah, I'm a little miffed that it's just not.
Sure should be below backspace.
I'm ready. Phone keyboard, please.
I think I put it. I put it backspace into- And I looked at the Unicode or whatever for the backspace. So,
Aha!
uh-huh.
Aha! Do you see it?
Yes, is inside.
Hmm?
Yeah, I don't see it.
I'm updating the game state, but the game state now has an indexed key for the date. So when I'm sending guesses in, it just gets set to the outside, and I'm referencing the inside. So let me show you. So const new game state equals ... game state, right? So that's a new copy of that, and then we set new game state today key dot guesses equals guesses. And then you update the game state with the new stuff. New game state. Missing semicolon. What? Yeah.
How dare you, Mrs. Simple?
Wait, hold on. Wait.
Yeah.
I'm so confused. Why are you mad at me? Let me go. Wait.
See, parentheses. Parentheses.
You don't see a parentheses? Oh, there's a missing parentheses. Really?
Yeah.
Where?
Well, there's an extra ending, but I don't see where it's supposed to become.
Oh, you're right. Okay. Mm. Mm. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Tom.
Mm-mm. 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 On change. Oh, haha, haha. Set current guess event dot target dot value.
It reminds me of when we were watching 24 and like the people who did the things, they're all like,
They are hacking, quote unquote. But that's how you save to local storage. You'll use a use effect hook to save to local storage when Wordle context changes, and then you'll also use an effect to load in the Wordle context. I think that's enough. Now I'm going to figure out why this doesn't work because I'm mad at it. Let me tell you, half the perseverance in computer programming will come from you being mad at the computer and not wanting it to win. So
That's how I got my degree.
Yeah, you just get like, I'm not gonna let you win. I am making this rock think the thinks I want it to think. Obey me, sand.
Not electricity, you do what I want.
Exactly.
Earlier, I was just like sitting here rocking, and I was like, I rocked myself to sleep in here.
Cannot set properties of undefined, setting guesses.
There's something writing.
I don't think that that's gonna happen. It's just gonna be vampires eating people.
No. I don't know, they're at a church or whatever.
There's often churches eat vampires.
Where do you like your?
That's true. They do want you to think you should get married. I'm just telling you. Vampires are just taking you.
Did you say regular car?
I'm sorry.
You mean hide and seek?
Oh, no, it's right here, not. It's not called hide and seek, that's what they're doing.
No.
They play hide and seek.
Or not.
It's a video.
That's an official
But
site. There's also a good fee.
Yeah. It's not, this looks like it's just the same computer.
No, I have not.
So weird movie with this lady that gets married and
The
then
movie was sponsored by her spouse's. Is it family? Yeah. Her spouse was a wealthy, Satan-worshiping family as part of a wedding night ritual.
I feel like we get too much away in this description.
no, that's almost the preview. They should have said the preview. It's like the only thing that is different is like the guy in the movie. He made a deal with the devil to be a good board game maker or something like really lame.
No, they literally go through the whole plot. I don't.
What? Guess so.
Have you guys seen
Oh, sorry.
the ad or trailer for the invitation?
That's what we were just, yeah,
Okay,
Yeah, I feel like it's the same.
very
movie.
similar.
yeah.
Oh, vampire.
Agree to marry this guy. She was just like, yeah, we're like cousins or whatever.
Yeah.
Also, the person that gets her there, gets her to the house, you don't see him in the rest of the trailer after.
Oh, yeah, I thought it was the same guy.
Yeah.
So sorry.
I'm just like attractive guy, whatever. Married.
No,
Married.
because in the trailer, he introduces her to the bad guy. And then he's not in the rest of the trailer.
So he's, it's less gross. It's not necessary here. A monster character.
Yeah, wow.
I thought it was the guy we're thinking could be.
Before you asked that question, I was reading a email from the place to take our dogs to board them. And they're having a Disney movie day.
For the dogs.
For the dogs? That's my question. It doesn't have, it says spares limited, so make sure it's in soon.
Just bring your dog guy and turn on. They're gonna pick one. We're gonna have all the DVDs out.
They always pick all dogs go to heaven. It's not even a Disney movie.
That's just really funny to me. And confusing. Yeah, it's in Woodstock.
Is it?
My parents need a place to watch their dogs when I can't watch their dogs, but
It's called Savvy Paws, SAVVY Paws Pet Resort. Cool. And I which is very confusing though, because on their little like logo stamp situation is SAVY, but everywhere else pretty much is SAVVY.
that's for the graphic designers that know how to. You're right there. they didn't have an editable file.
Something, yeah, I don't know. But they've been good. We left, Piper, our dog Piper, she's the younger of our two, for 10 days when we were in South Africa in March. And they were great. What else? Yeah, and then the dog went with our friend, actually, Lawrence's boyfriend, Isaiah. We got, sorry, this is such a long story. Our dog Bella, we got her from Isaiah, and she still gets really excited every time he comes over. And so he agreed to watch him for 10 days. It was awesome. That's so sweet. You know. And they'll like, if you, like when we were in South Africa, we texted every now and then. They're like, text one said, how you doing? And we gave us updates and stuff. So it was great. Yeah. Well, we picked her up. They were like, we tried to contact them the first day, and I was like, we were traveling for like 24 hours. Like, there was no way. We must have missed it. Look, what if you want to tell us? They're like, did you throw a sock on your first day? I was like, so embarrassing, but glad she's doing good. Yeah. Oh, no. She pooped out a sock, which is honestly a little bit funnier. I'm glad she didn't have to throw up and just passed on through.
Actually, just about anything. It was like,
Oh my goodness, sorry, this is also to my boys, close your ears, men, close your ears. Right, dog pooped out a pair of my underwear pants. And I was like, oh my gosh, why is that?
I had
What
an
is-
option did that.
Why is that, I realize we're still recording.
I'm
One second.
like,
One second. I saw the, pattern, I was like, what's that pattern? And I thought I had to clean it up. Okay, you're good. You're good. You really are gonna have to edit this video now. You're so- You're good.
What?
You're good.
Oh, oh, no, I didn't.
So Sherika, this is what you miss when you don't come to Thrive on Saturday mornings.
I'm so sorry.
That's all right. That's all right.
I was like, wow, I really can't hear anything. This is.
This is new.
It was kind of still like the AirPod Pro thing. And I'm like, oh,
Is it an everything?
yeah. It hurts my ears. My ear part of my ears sometimes.
Yeah, whatever mode they were in when I did it, like, I could only hear someone if it looked at the.
Yeah, spatial audio.
Yeah,
That way, like, can tell which way you're.
we were running at the park, and then when I looked down at Tara's shoes, her shoes immediately would be like. And I would look away and it'd be silent, and I
I
was
heard
like,
that then I'm that. I heard that happen. So.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think
You
I
can
was
turn it on and off.
Mm.
It's a setting that you can turn on. Yeah, I did that once and I did not.
I learned them a bunch because when I first got my like peer like spent like a little under 2 months ago, and so like I was trying not to touch it because like my headphones hurt my ears like normally, so I was like, oh, I guess I just have to wear these like all the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, why did I do this? They're nice. I'll do it. Why did I put like a hole in there?
Yeah.
For no reason.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually don't have my ears.
Really?
Yeah, I just never did it. That's more normal. I feel like, or like the amount of gifts I've gotten that were earrings that I'm not going to do anything with was like ridiculous. And then eventually.
I actually do a important amount of bags growing up. Years.
Yeah. I said it's normal.
It started to feel like, it didn't feel weird that I didn't, but it felt like I said this was just for ladies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I can't get my input to show up again.
Sorry,
we're just ignoring you. You're trying to teach us how to debug when your stuff doesn't work.
You just need to turn audio off for like that second half. Yeah, can help you. I mean, you can just watch.
You can put some lo-fi on.
Oh, there it is.
There you go, Jonathan Lo-Fi.
Oh,
Well,
that's
I
what
would-
it's
I
doing.
we'll give it to Karen, she'll take out those parts for your drunk. And then we'll just put that in the back and then move that into the Lo-Fi.
I'm so mad right now.
Just giving you some B-roll.
Like so it just came up and I had been listening to lo-fi in the background and like a SpongeBob one came up and I put it on and it's like hours and hours and hours. So every I think every 40 minutes, someone just screams profanities for like 2 seconds. And I was like, and I thought I like imagined it or heard it from someone else somewhere else in the house, and then I was like, okay, and then like I'll just be doing something and I'll like it gets on a loop and I'm like, and that's the only time it happens and I'm like, what? What's
That's so weird.
It's not like it's not like a SpongeBob thing, it's a quote from a movie or something.
Yeah.
Like it's just the clip from the movie playing and I'm like,
Yeah.
what's going on?
That's so weird.
I wanted to make someone showed me that they're like, oh, I watched this thing and it's a guy's camera in his backyard and just streams his backyard. It's nothing ever happens. But it's not live anymore. It's just 24 hours and they put Skyrim like music over it. And it's pretty calming and relaxing. And I was like, if I was that, I would do that. But like at hour 8. I would have something like exciting happen in front of the camera and never again.
Literally just like you and a friend like playing with lightsabers.
They're like a sword fight or something.
Like that. Like just hour 8.
So, but no sound effects. It just happens silence. If you're not looking at me on it.
Yeah, that's so funny.
A guy did an art experiment for college, or he had an experiment for his he's got a doctorate or something. Some degree you don't normally get in art, like it's too high. And he has a channel on YouTube called Sitting and Smiling. And it's just him sitting and smiling for 4.5 hours. And there's like 400 or 500 episodes of it. And
Why?
he doesn't move. But the only reason I know about it is because in the middle of this, like several episodes in, many several episodes in, someone tries to rob him. But he's so dedicated, he doesn't move. And it freaks the person out and they leave. They like open the door and see him and go, oh, and then like run away. But like they're breaking
Whoa.
into the door and then like they open it a little bit. You don't even see them. You see them open it. You hear someone go, oh, then like you hear them running off and he just
That's
doesn't
so
move.
weird.
And he like in his comments, he's like, someone tried to rob me. He's like, I was so freaked out. I just
Didn't
stayed there.
move.
He's like, but I guess because I emptied out my entire room and it's just me sitting in the middle of the floor staring blankly into the wall with a creepy smile on my face. It probably goes to my benefit in this particular.
Yesterday at like 10 p.m., I could not get out of my head that I needed to go check to see if we had any mail. So I walked Roblox at 10 p.m., which is kind of far from my
Oh,
not a short walk. So it was dark out, and I got paranoid when I was walking, and I had a flashlight, so I just looked around, and there was this beautiful, ginormous deer in our front yard, just like sitting, staring at me, like, what's it doing? It was so pretty. I really wanted to try and take a picture of this deer, but
My parents live out in the middle of nowhere, and so they have like, granted just bought a second piece of land like right behind us, it's like attached to their house. Oh, cool. And they get deer, so my mom started looking out like, oh, we have some like apple cores, or we had like some leftover watermelon, and so now she has like four. She like we like have four mamas and like singing feelings and shit up today, and like
I love that.
every day I'm gonna like mama and baby report about the deer.
That's awesome. I love that.
I forgot to tell you, but like at the football, there were just a bunch of baby deers that were like watching us
Yes.
play pickleball, and I was like, deer, and they're like, yeah, they're always deer. Like everyone else was like, not. They're just like, oh yeah, that's I was like, they're watching us play pickleball, and they're like, yeah, it's fine.
I feel like we're
I mean,
like,
they come every day, so.
like, cause when we first got here at like our house, just was like, how did you look? And like, just like stood there and I was like, okay.
I think that's just me though, because that happens every time.
Yeah. We're not feeling good. It's like, there was a week where I saw.
Well, you know, I mean, I just every time we see a deer, that's still good. It's true. Yeah, there were no deer in Florida where we just saw like gators and panthers and stuff. Like,
See, if I saw a panther, I'd be like,
I
panther!
was excited.
panthers are failed to focus. You're constantly failing to focus.
Oh,
Oh, no. I love that effect
It's a
though.
really cool effect.
That effect
Literally,
is on point.
it's completely not what I
This
intended.
is the horror world. It like
My question is, when you submit it, does it still like go through?
is it the word? Is it being saved?
I added a check in the check guess method to check the length of the value and check for the word in the word list. So now you have to guess a word that's in the word list. And if it's not in there, then, you know.
Yeah, Calvin's code is so like, so much more concise than mine. I'm like, I have a lot.
John's just doing this here for the longer.
Yeah, but I feel like I'm using big solutions to small problems.
No, using the context is a big solution for us.
Yeah. That is sort of been way easier if I
just continued with the use state, but.
That's what I say, you don't need to use the context. Finish the app. And if you want to reactivate.
Now,
you
Do it to the acceptance criteria.
Yes.
I shared the document, like, just go through. Yeah, I mean,
I don't know if I'll get there.
Like this use context thing is like foreign to me, because like
Yeah.
as a C# developer, I want to make a service singleton that provides me with like a view model for this whole thing.
right. And that is the way you can do it as well. You can create a view model like that. React wants to work in a functional way where it's like you use your use effect hooks. And
Yeah.
so
Well, I mean, I would use those things. What I would use the view model with them, but I don't know how to do that in JavaScript because I don't know how that's structured.
yeah. So the reason why we're doing this with the local storage context, right? So using a context, using local storage, we can persist the state of the game to the disk, right? So that we can load it again when they go to our website, right? So end state, you can put this up as a GitHub page and be like, hey, I made this thing, and, you know. You can like send it to people as like a resume item or a portfolio item. But again, really, we just want the app to remember somehow that the user has guessed a word today and that they're going to do it. They need to wait till
And that
tomorrow.
works really well honestly with resume item as a junior because like I had like Hangman and it didn't look good at all.
Yeah,
And people
so-
were like, oh, that's awesome. So if you have all of Wordle, that'll look real good.
So I think I'm gonna keep playing with context. I may just go back to use state just because that's easier and save it in local storage anyway.
And you can also do things like plus. it Flux isn't actually anything, it's just a pattern.
Right.
It's no special code or anything, it's just a pattern.
Well, there is a library called Flux, isn't there?
No, that's Flux is a pattern. I mean, there may be now, but it didn't used to be a package because I used to think, oh, you have to install this.
Okay. All right, thanks, Tom. So my name is Jing, and I'm a software engineer on the product infrastructure team at Facebook. So let's talk about some of the problems do away with all of this. What we propose instead is something called Flux. It's a single directional data flow. And that avoids all of the double arrows that go in both directions that make it really hard. It goes in a cycle.
So yeah, just watching this talk, you'll get a lot of like ideas about how things should work.
View controller.
Model view control. You're talking about model view model.
I like MVVM. I don't like easy.
That's fair. There are lots of different patterns. You can see my other
I do like Flux as well. I mean,
recommendations.
it's
Yeah,
Flux pattern.
and that's what the use context kind of is.
Yeah, I don't like this whole like micro passing of things around. It makes it that stresses me out.
Yeah.
But
I just realized how many things I have to sort out. I was like, I just come to the store, how many times did you want and how many guests to sort what? Then I was like, I guess I should have them really see their words in case they accidentally like lose.
in the end, this is way less verbose than what I do at work. Like it seems like a lot for a little, but it's not actually.
Yeah, I don't. I think what I'm running into is it's re-rendering. Every time I type something, it's re-rendering that input because it's within that provider. So
Well, Terry can push your code for me.
yeah.
Or maybe an earlier version that we're doing it.
Mhm.
I just didn't know how many had been pushed.
I had to have a working version. So if I just do git checkout head back one, run it.
TCO.
Yeah. So on my Mac, I use OmyZish, OmyZ which has a lot of shortcuts for Git. So if you're on a Mac or on a Linux box, I highly recommend using ZSH.
I think it's default.
And yes, it is default on Mac. But OmyZish OmyZSH is a plugin framework for Bash that makes it like gives you all these pretty printed
colors.
Yeah.
I just use Fort because I really like the visual structure of it.
Mhm.
I don't see this ever.
I like command line. Updates. If you have built a Wordle clone and would like to show it off, we're going to try and get a space for you to show it off to some people that I know who work in the industry. Dustin, Scott, maybe your boss, Malcolm. For some demos and dessert is the tentative name, I think. So we'll have some software demos and dessert, and we're going to continue that, I think, on into the future until the next boot camp. So if you want to show off something you learned, let me know, and I'll set up a space. It'll probably just be here on like a Thursday night or something. Because of dessert. Otherwise, we can do donuts and demos, or demos and donuts. If you want to do it in the
dessert in
morning.
the morning. Their desserts exist in the morning.
No, they don't. I've never seen a dessert in the morning. That's not a dessert. That's a
It's
breakfast
not a
item.
dessert.
No.
Donuts are desserts. Every other country considers them desserts. We're the only people who think.
I'm pretty sure they think.
Is that pancake a dessert?
Like,
Yeah.
like,
A Dutch baby.
Damn good though.
Dutch baby pancake.
how many weeks from now, like, do you think it'll be?
Don't talk about that for now.
Say what now?
Oh, sorry.
How many
I'm just kidding.
weeks from now, do you think the demos and dessert will be in G5 question?
Oh, okay. What was the max site to use for shortcuts?
What?
The max site to use for shortcuts. What's your question, Sharika? Oh, you want the website for the Oh My ZSH shortcuts? Okay, there you go. Oh My ZSH. A delightful open source community driven framework. Yeah, this is another.
And then you said nice. And I was like, oh, okay. Nice.
So there's install instructions here. You just like, and I think what we're gonna do in the future as well, like onboarding was a problem for sure. So I think what am I saying? Getting like all the programs installed was a problem. So I'm gonna work on it during the gap, work on some scripting to make that a lot easier so that you can do something like this and just copy and paste one line and it'll install everything. Now, that being said, it's not gonna be perfect. No script is, but getting like something going would probably help. So I'm gonna work on that. Thank you all for Sharika. Before we go, I know your power is probably still out, but if you are able, can you demo what you've been working on? And we'll have some of these up for archival purposes. I'm gonna probably try and redo them as well.
But yes.
Oh yeah, let's see it. Is there a GitHub link we could see? Could clone the repository and run it. And again, we'll have more info on the demo stuff. It will be in person only, probably like, I think we're gonna try and get Roswell North Elementary because there's already connections there, but maybe Alpharetta Community Center since it's like close to where we've been. So I don't know. We will see.
Yeah, I can see if I can get on to be like, hey, these people stuff.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I want to do is get people who are in the industry to kind of be like, hey, look at these people's code. Maybe you want to hire them, yes?
We'll have to put this in the chat as well, or Slack.
Yeah.
For Larissa.
Mhm.
Anybody else?
Yep. And I'll keep working on Wordle because I think it's fun and I want to finish
Yeah,
it.
I meant to bring my computer because I wanted to make it in Blazor
Yeah.
this morning and see. Because I want to learn Blazor.
Mhm.
It's very similar so far to React with the structure.
Mhm. Wait a few more minutes. And we'll call it.
Yeah,
Lucian's getting something, right?
I think so. Yeah.
do you want to do the write-up for Slack for desserts and demo and desserts?
You give me details, I'll make a flyer.
Right. So that's what we need to do is get the details together. So I'm gonna send an email to Brian.
Well, it's just that we're planning on doing something like that.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, and then I can write up as far as like what the.
And if you could actually reach out to Brian and stuff,
Yes,
be like,
I can do that, yes, absolutely.
because I say I'm gonna do a lot of things and this is bad. I'm not saying this is a good thing. I say I'm gonna do things and then don't do them. So don't do what I do.
I know
Do
those
what you
feels,
say.
not for you, I'm just saying, sorry like that.
My mother always said.
You know, behind every great man is a woman who thinks that the man said he would do.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Thanks,
Oh,
Nicole.
real. That was way too.
I mean, this is a really cool effect. We should like on Halloween just like have an effect that like changes it and makes it all like creepy.
When you get it right, it changes the word and then like changes the background color. It does that glitch effect and your colors all go away and you don't have the right word anymore.
And it all just kind of like melts off the screen and
It
falls.
turns into like weird symbols and colors, aren't
Make sure you have the Slack representation. I guess.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I guess when we get a new character.
It makes a noise when you post.
Sometimes. Sherika, you still there? I know it's hard to multitask on a phone because they want you to be in the app and not anywhere else.
I both like it, just like the new feature on like iPhone where it kind of like puts the like YouTuber like videos like
Picture in
inside.
picture. Yeah.
But now I won't play videos consistently.
Oh.
I'm like, I was using YouTube for music while I was graduating. I can't keep telling you I want to play.
Yeah.
So it's a. Wouldn't want to give this a. Are you running it from GitHub? If you're on the branch too. It's not in GitHub yet. You have to get it from. Approved it. No, what's everyone?
It's the one that was just.
Go ahead and walk through the.
Take a picture of me and then it was like a driver's license.
Okay. From branch. Yep. See it. Yeah, right. Yeah. From your.
Like, what?
The bird, one of the birds was still on target the next day when I went, which really says more about me than the bird, but.
The employees, I guess, couldn't get to go out.
It was like by the other exit. I was like, come on, bird, you can do it yourself, slow.
Let's look at commit history. There we go.
I was eating stuff off the floor. Because people get snacks.
Oh. No, bird. It was a bird trapped in Target.
No, there's no way you could pay me enough money or convince me to eat something that even vaguely touched the floor.
Or like touch something that may have touched the floor ever in its entire span of existence. Like another person's hand.
I just,
I feel like you're a little upset about this.
Nice.
yes.
A little bit. I grew up in a household where it's just fine. It's just fine. Sarah is like,
My therapist
Your
says
dad
I have a
first.
TV, okay? It's
But
about
ADHD is intense right now, so I'm trying to do too many things. I'm trying to make sure that Sharon feels like we're listening to her if she's around and paying attention. I would love to hear more about this because this is very interesting. How do you
Yeah.
spell desserts? Got it. That was the only question I really had.
if you want more of them on like a desert.
Okay.
That's how my
I
elementary
wish
school
you
teacher.
wanted more X's.
You want
Oh,
more
we want more
desserts.
dessert. Got it.
Yep. That's not how I learned life.
My elementary teacher taught us that thing. While she taught us to make ice.
That's what Steph needs. Or should I just do?
I can just connect. with
Okay,
that.
sounds good.
That goes to their shared inbox, like, it's like a church. Yeah. The best way to hold the hand. It's the best way.
We are all over the place today.
Some of us.
It's been a long boot camp.
Why have you just sent me desserts?
I just spelled it out.
Oh, okay. That's cool. That's cool.
You're allowed.
Is that how you spell blame? Or does that say a list of things people land on, Jazz?
That's how you spell
It
it.
is, looks like land.
No, that would be two M's. That's how the English language usually works. Natural happens to and this in here having the E, but if it was just land. it would be- Yeah. Also, when I saw that post, I thought that it was a list of people blamed on Jazz.
Yeah, no. We all have different problems.
Not just in Ireland is trending.
Okay.
What's trending?
Justin Roiland, the guy who co-created the Gordon Party and he made Solar Opposites.
That was so intense. So many things. This coffee is not doing good things for me. It's making me, like, really not. Caroline got focused.
There you go. Caroline is undefined.
Wow, we're absolute nerds.